What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we've got this 6.2. I believe the guy had thought it was a LT1 originally, but it's a LT6, which is fine. Once you get them stripped down to where it's at, there's not a damn good of difference between the two. We've got a whole table full of goodies over here. K-Tech oil pump, K-Tech front cover, Texasspeed tensioner. It's getting a BTR camshaft. A brand new, I just did these at my garage the other day. I did 660 Texasspeed valve springs. These heads are brand new. They've never been fired. This guy's spending some money here. He wants to run the factory valley cover, which I thought was kind of weird, but as you can see, there's no oil even on it. It's all this stuff is. This is a weird deal. Everything is brand new. Brand new. It's pretty crazy.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. Got our lifters already soaking. The goal for today is to get cover cam on this thing, covers on it, and heads on it.
Yeah. Back to this block.
Yeah,
This is not a stock bore anymore. It's been bored out.
Yep.
And it's been stroked. And so
It's got, let me see if I can get you underneath here. It's got a set of rods in it.
yes, sir.
It's got ARP everything. The crank has been drilled, welded, balanced. Let me see if I can, somewhere, there it is right there. You see that mark right there? This is probably the baddest 6.2 we've had, except if you go back probably quite a few videos, we had an LME in here. The LME was probably a little bit more bad than this, but this is, it's a pretty bad little block. Obviously you can see those are not stock pistons, got a custom set of pistons in it. Those are not factory rods.
ARP.
Everything. I showed them this.
Yeah.
It's been drilled, welded or something.
Yeah, balance.
The reluctor wheel has been welded. I don't see that normally on any engine we get in here. We don't know what machine shop it came from. We don't know nothing about it. We're just bolting on everything you see. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, that's not on us. We didn't do any of this. We'll see how it goes. Also, if y'all want to go to the comments, tell Dad happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday.
I got a new present.
I brought him a gift.
toy?
Brought him a new little toy.
Ooh.
So he ain't got to drag the extension cord out no more. It's just a DeWalt little cut off grinder deal.
Yes, sir.
And we'll definitely put that to use with all the stuff we do.
All right, these things got
Yep. So we're gonna get started. First thing we want to do is the rear cover, get that done. So we gotta get it up in the air real quick. I wanted the oil barbell changed out to another GM factory. Of course, this one came from Michigan, but it's another one, GM factory. We have another one in there. So
O-ring is a little different. It's too short. So we're gonna go with the original one.
I don't know what that was for.
Add some other application.
Yeah, but I have read that it's preferred to use the factory one than aftermarket. Seen some people use the billet ones. They don't work out. But we're gonna change that out. Take a razor blade to the back of this. Get this factory rear cover on, and then go from there. But yeah, it's the exact same deal. Okay. Put a little oil in that ring. Nothing wrong with the one that came out, but when somebody pays for a new one and that's what they want, that's what they get. No big deal to it. Just slides in.
Does it go this way or which way?
Yeah, you got it. Slides right on in.
It's really
It's
tight.
a real tight fit. They're kind of hard to get out too. If you've ever taken one out, you'll know. What you kind of do is you pull this plug out right there, get you a flathead and start kind of working it out. Or if you want to drill into it with like a self tapper, yank it out. You can do that too. Doesn't really matter. That's it. Done deal. Got all the silicone cleaned up. For a motor that never ran, it had a lot of silicone. And then this is just weird too. This rear cover, brand new, it's never seen a lick of oil, had silicone all over it too. So got that cleaned up. But it takes a while to clean all that stuff up. But you want to make sure you take your time on these rear covers, right? Once the motor's in, you're not changing this thing back out and getting it. The motor's coming back out. Or the transmission's coming off, one or the other. So just take your time, make sure that gets cleaned up good so you get a good seal. And this is the 8-speed. Is it 8-speed or 10-speed?
10.
No, okay. They all look the same to me. So this is the transmission. Dad's getting it prepped so he can get it painted. It's got the Camaro output shaft on it. That's going on this motor as well.
Running out of Loctite. I got brand new. You have to hold them. Okay, go ahead. It's hot. That works. What was the board you get?
I got it.
Okay, got them all.
Then you go on to torque and spec. We don't talk about torque specs anymore. You can go back and check that video and see why. Yeah, me and Dad were just talking, this can't be economical to build an engine like this. Buy a complete engine. If y'all are wanting to do engines, buy a complete motor. This poor guy bought an incomplete motor, and he's having to go purchase what Dad's getting out of the package right now,
It's dowels.
cylinder head dowels, brand new ones. If you buy a complete engine, guess what? You already have them. Don't know what these things cost, but you need 4 of them. Shipping, and it's just a lot. Like, especially like this stuff, like all the little plugs go in the block, you know.
Yeah.
Bolts right here. Bolts for your lifter trays. I've never bought bolts for a lifter tray because we always deal in complete engines. Make sure you torque those to spec.
Yeah.
Is that a torque hammer?
It is.
Is it calibrated?
I've done this so much, I know exactly what I'm.
It's a calibrated torque hammer is what he's using here. You can't just go get these at any Harbor Freight. There you go. That's good for 1,000 horsepower right there. Coming down. So Dad got the what we call the back brace, little cover that goes on the transmission off. And all the mounts that was on it. It's Camaro, so they come with a lot of mounts. Calcium stuff. I've been over here cleaning the machine shop where this block came from. Not only did they not prime the paint, they just painted it with some cheap black. And it was weird. They painted over the silicone. Never quite seen that done. But yeah, you can see this stuff just flakes off, tips up. Don't ever trust a machine shop. If you're getting your stuff done, tell them don't worry about the paint. They don't do that good. And the reason why it didn't stick, no primer at all. But I wanted to get this cleaned up before I started doing getting the cam installed and everything else. Get ready to put the cam in. Had to round up a camshaft retainer plate and bolts. That's a bad thing when you're piecing these together sometimes when you didn't buy a complete engine. You're always going to forget some little piece. And that was the one piece that I was missing that we didn't have. Looked through all the boxes, looked through everything that came in. Didn't have it, but got one now. All right, this is the cam the guy wants to use. Tried looking up the part number on it. Seeing a few things about it, but can't find anything. I think it's a custom grind cam. That's the numbers on it for anybody interested. It's been in something. You can see it's right there. So it's a used cam. Not saying it's that used, just saying it's been installed in a motor at one point. All right, here we go. I already got your dots lined up. Alright. Alright, Dad's putting the camshaft retainer plate on. Bolts have already got Loctite on them. Good job. Deal. So this comes with the K-Tech kit, and here's what I like about it. This is why I'm either gonna run this one or the one from LME. But the reason why I like it, look at your dowel sticking through there.
Yeah.
That is so much better than messing with that phaser. Messing with them phasers sometimes suck. So it does have LT1, LT4 stamp to it, but I'm pretty sure that's just a LS4 wheel. Either way, whatever, right? Dad's soaking the timing chain right now. I did look up the torque spec. You can look it up on the website. Like I said, I don't talk about torque specs no more, but K-Tech does list the torque spec for that bolt on the website.
Mixed up with hand in my hand.
So you got your dot to your, this don't have a dot, but it's got an arrow.
Arrow?
Yep.
There's your dot.
And your dowel should line up.
That's it. Look at that.
Done deal.
Bobby Neal. Number 6, number 1 piston all the way up. Yep. This particular gear here has a arrow mark here.
So it's your dot.
There's your dot down there, so it should be in time. If it's gonna park this guy here.
Ready?
It's gonna hold back up on this.
Ready?
Here it is all day. This is a handy dandy tool. The air built. Works great.
Yeah, put the tensioner on. This is real nice. Show this to the people who want to see.
Texasspeed
Yep.
performance. Actually has a nice setup here.
Little tensioner setup. So you can get a LME kit complete. I think it's around $800. You can buy the K-Tech kit, which I don't think comes with a tensioner. Just comes with the chain, the cover, the bolt. That's a nice little piece here.
A little kit here.
It's got even that grease in it. For the O-ring right
Got
here.
O-rings.
So Dad got the dielectric grease, I guess, just kind of help throw the bolts on the floor. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Dielectric grease just kind of help to lube the O-ring up and kind of help hold it in place, I guess. And then you got this, you call it an O-ring? I don't know, rubber washer?
Plastic.
Plastic washer, whatever.
It's a nylon.
Goes in the
piece.
front, and a lot of y'all may be asking what goes.
Actually, it's rubber. I feel it.
Okay, so it's rubber. So it's a rubber washer. A lot of people may be wondering what goes there. It'll seal up against this hole right here. Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. Just gets tightened down. So you torque that to spec. All right, we got the K-Tech oil pump. I don't really know what's special about the K-Tech pump. One thing we like about it is it came with brand new bolts that already have the inserts. So you don't have to worry about a locator because we don't even know where the old pump came off. It's pretty simple. Almost. Done.
Boy, that looks good.
It does look good. Here's what's special about the K-Tech pump It is 4140 billet, and it was blueprinted.
That's special.
I guess. And it has a serial number etched into it. Okay. So, tighten those down, torque them to spec.
Take some steel shots.
Yeah, I can.
Torque these down real quick.
Come on, man. All right, Dad's getting the head gaskets on, and everything's been cleaned and prepped with alcohol. Even the heads, even though you can tell from the paint marks on the valves, these are brand new. This guy spent some money instead of buying a used set of heads or something to slap them on there. He went new. The only weird thing is, you see the ring, a little bit of red marking. These were bolted on a motor, but never fired. All right, so we got the heads on, all torqued down to spec. So Dad wanted to spin it around since we got the cam on and we got the timing gear on. We ain't got any push rods in it yet because it's getting a trunnion upgrade, so I ain't put the rockers on. But while we were turning around, we noticed the oil squirters, which, let's see, it looks better without the camera actually, so I can get the focus. The oil squirters were hitting the piston skirt,
I'm gonna
or
spin
the
it.
inside of the piston.
You see how close it comes up.
See how it's, see, look, right? Let me see.
Can you hook the light for you?
No, it's just washing out. But they were hitting the piston.
Yeah.
So machine shop didn't check it very well, I guess, after they sent it out.
Yeah.
Like this one coming up right there. You see that squirter sitting there?
It was.
And I just took a little flathead and bent them a little bit. Just bent them a hair out of the way. I mean, they're so close where they need
This
to
one
be.
still might be too close at the back. See that one? It has different light setting. Maybe too bright.
It's just not. It's focusing on the crank. It won't focus on the piston, and then that light just washes out.
Okay.
Anyway, that one is still pretty close.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Let me give it a little shove here.
That's too bright.
There you go. Is that better?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, much better.
Sorry, y'all. The camera's focusing on the crank and these two bolts over here. It will not focus.
But
on
you can
that
see
squirter.
it's
But it was hitting.
it was hitting for sure.
Weird. And I guess it probably just would have hit a few times until it knocked itself out of the way. But we don't want to send nothing out with any trouble like that. Okay, jumping ahead. Dad got this thing painted after we put the heads on it. Dark steel, old color that we bring back every once in a while. People still like it. Got the K-Tech cover on. It had to be modified. Well, not the cover itself. The harness had to be modified. You get a big metal cage that goes here, and then it gets, this is still like a metal rigid piece. It goes all the way to about right here or whatever. So you gotta kind of modify it to make everything work like anything else.
Because you're eliminating.
Yeah, the VVT is gone.
Yeah.
You have to find a bolt that fits. It doesn't come with a bolt. The original bolt would be way too long. It would just bottom out. And the plastic inserts that lines up your timing cover cannot be used on the K-Tech cover. So what I have is, this is a seal installation tool, and also it's a timing cover alignment tool.
Yeah.
So it's keyed, goes on the crank, lines this thing up perfectly. Next, what we're gonna be working on is we have a kit. This is the Dirty Dingo kit, first one for us. Right off the jump, just looking at it, it's a lot of spacers. CVF kit also has some spacers. But this is quite a bit of spacers. Fluid damper, SFI approved. Corvette LS water pump, AC compressor, alternator, water pump spacers, and then just a ton of brackets here. Lots of brackets.
AC bracket, power steering bracket,
Right.
AC front bracket, so it all
And then
sandwiches together.
this is the pulley for the power steering pump, which is over next to the alternator. It comes with no instructions, so that's really nice. I used about $80 worth of ink and printed some off for us here so we can figure this thing out. Pictures, looking at the pictures of it, it's extremely wide when it's built, so I hope it's going in a, it won't work in a C10. We'll show you why. So it won't work in a C10. Well, I guess it depends on where you mount your computer, but I think it also hit that inner fender probably. I don't think it'll work. So I don't know what it's going in, but it's a very wide kit. So we're gonna start reading the instructions to see if we can even figure out how to go about it. So we got some anti-seize already on the bolts. The instructions, not the greatest. You just gotta, spacers are labeled. And there's a lot of spacers. It seems like they could have done a little bit different design in the kit without all these spacers. And like I said, it's going to be wide. Your AC compressor is going to be sitting here. It's going to be sitting out here. And then they got torque specs on these. But yeah, it's a lot of spacers. So this is the AC bracket, the back of the AC bracket. Then you get more spacers this way, and then more bolts. Yeah. All right, so next you're going to install the front AC plate, and you get spacers, 4 B spacers, 4 long bolts, and then you put the some anti-seize on them and tighten them down. And this is what you end up with this. Next, we're going to put the AC compressor on, which goes here with some more spacers. Idler goes in one of these holes. They give you plenty, and I'm sure another spacer, why not? And then a tensioner goes here, probably with some more spacers. They should have just called this thing spacer. All right, so compressor's on, spacer C, spacer D, flat washer, nut, bolt, bolt. Same down there, same stuff. And then, y'all thought I was joking, if the tensioner gets a spacer, it does. All right, so I got the idler on. I don't really like it. It got a little walk to it, and then it's not straight. But this is, it's got the spacer behind it, how it's supposed to be. Got the nut on it, got the washer. Everything's how it should be. Just walks around, but even this, and this is probably normal, it walks a little bit. Next step is the tensioner. We got this thing here, this extra brace. You have to remove 2 of your valve cover bolts, use their supplied hardware to install this bracket, then the Heim joint on there, and there's metal shavings in there that's not allowing it to thread on like it's supposed to be. That's cool. Not cool. This is a weird deal. I've never seen a thing like this where it has to have all this stuff. The AC is pretty solid. It's got 4 good sized bolts hold it to this massive, huge bracket, but they still want you to install this. And then you still got to have headers here, and spark plug wires, and yeah, that's weird. Same kind of water pump sandwich that we usually have to do with the CVF kits, just a little bit different. Still trying to figure out why the instructions tell you to put the water pump on first.
I think it was a mistake.
Because if you put the water pump on first, I mean, you can get to this with an Allen wrench, but I mean, you're gonna sit there and just keep fighting it. It's kind of a pain. Everything worked out good back here. Harness thing worked fine. Plenty of room. So we don't have to use this. There's our other piece right here. This piece was made for reclocking the original timing cover with the phaser. This motor doesn't have the phaser, so we don't need it. I got the driver's side on, this is just the power steering pump and alternator, I think? Yeah, so power steering pump, alternator bracket. So this is the back bracket, and it is super close. You can still get the valve cover off because they've recessed this a little bit for you, but there's a little, I'll show you. There's a little rubber piece here, right, that was on the front of that valve cover. You have to cut it off because it wedges itself in there. So you can see where I went in and trimmed it up a little bit. Yeah. But that's the water pump on. Put this lower bracket on. Nothing special about that. Shows in the instructions exactly how to do it. There you go. Yeah, water pump's tight. Water pump's on. Fluid dampener balancer is on. Got that little lower bracket on. It's coming together. Got this to go. We got 3 B spacers, 1 C spacer to hold the front of the alternator and power steering pump bracket on. And then got to swap the alternator pulley. This one. I'm guessing it's using the same hardware. I haven't got that far yet. Alright, so on the spacers, the B spacer gets 3 10 by 120 millimeter flathead. C spacer gets a 10 by 110. So we got 3 just paying attention to all my different sizes here. They got different sizes for some of this. Just gotta look at it. All right, it's not the best instructions. It looks like it wants you to put the alternator on with the A spacers, spacer being plural. I've only got 1 A spacer. I've got a short spacer that's not labeled with anything on it. So it wants me to do A spacers, fit behind the alternator and in front of the rear bracket using 2 10 millimeter by 120 socket heads. So that's the socket heads. Then we have the flat heads. I'll tell you what, okay. Here's where I was getting confused. A spacer, B spacers, same. B spacer, A spacer, A spacer, A spacer, no name. So, what had happened was the sticker came off in the packaging and perfectly landed on this spacer, or QC put the wrong sticker on the wrong spacer. All right, so getting the front bracket on took a little bit longer than expected. This hole in the back bracket was not drilled in the right spot. So these line up, they countersink in, not much you can do. So I had to waller out that hole in the back just enough to be able to get this bolt in. Not the best kit I've dealt with. We've been trying to figure out how to do the power steering pump. What we've come up with is it came separate in a different box with the reservoir already on it. The issue is, I'll show them the issue here. So that
You got 3 bolt holes.
yeah,
If you line it up,
the reservoir's upside down.
it's upside down. Here's your cap.
There's where your cap would be.
All your oil is going to go on the ground.
So what it is, this reservoir is going to come back off. We're using the pump, and the guy will do a remote reservoir.
Yep.
So what's going to happen? That's the only way to make this work. Only way to make this work. Okay, we got the power steering pump deal figured out. Like I said, it came with a reservoir that you don't need. So you take it off, you end up running a remote reservoir and do it somewhere, put it somewhere else. It has an orifice here that's still open with oil dripping out of it. Right there. That's for your return line, but it says not to put the return line in. It's a press fit. until you know where you want your line to run because of your remote reservoir, which we don't have. Got the other idler installed. Dad's working on the alternator. Woo! Yeah, it's not hard to install whatsoever. I'm not saying this is a tough install. I'm saying the instructions suck. It's massively huge. But all we gotta do now is change the alternator pulley to the billet pulley it comes with, and put the power steering pump pulley on. Press it on with the. We have a press tool deal, the install tool, and that's probably it. Got the alternator swapped out, just using the hardware that was already there. Simple, easy. Just use an impact, pop it off, pop another one on, just pop it. Got the power steering pump pulley on, the little puller tool, whatever it is, pusher tool. It you just go slow, and I should have filmed it, but I didn't. We had our hands full, and I didn't put you all on the tripod this time around. That's my bad. But still got a ways to go on this one until we finish it up. It's looking good. Like I said, I wouldn't run this kit. It's just kind of wide to me. But, I mean, everything's there that you need, right? So, whatever. Dirty Dingo.
It's like icing a cake.
Yep. First holly pan I've done in a long time. Well, this one didn't require a hammer or a saw to put it together. At least on that one they did. The last couple holly pans I built, the pickup tube had to be cut.
That's not fun. Nope. I do that extra work.
That's why they call it custom.
Yeah.
We're missing fuel injector still.
The back order, large fuel injector.
I think it's getting LT4 injectors.
Well, it could be even bigger than that because it has a stroke kit put in it, different pistons, been bored. Also, this is the first motor we're going to be running that has a secondary injection system on it. In other words, you get your direct injections that you always have.
Seal.
Then there's a plate going to sit on top of that with secondary injectors in it. Don't know what's going to be injected in it.
Methanol, I'm assuming.
Methanol or maybe some sort of fuel or something. It doesn't. This thing is hard to really get. Not bad. It's good with this.
Mm-hmm.
And fix it right out.
I posted a few pictures on Instagram and stuff. People are actually, I know we didn't really care for the Dirty Dingo kit, but there's people that like this thing.
It's big.
It's big. Still don't know what this thing's doing.
Something high RPM, I can tell you that, but stroke put in it, it's going to turn it quick.
Yeah. You're into that. Yep.
An old 50 model truck. Got a big wide hood in it.
I was going to have a lot of room.
Yeah.
There we go. Done deal.
All right.
So this is the driver's side valve cover that I said was going to be close with all this stuff here. See if it'll come off.
Yep.
Yeah, it does, but it is. See, they got that recessed out, and then there's just enough room, I guess, to snake it by there.
You had to cut that
I had to cut that. Yeah,
the
so
gasket off.
there's a little titty that sticks out. Had to trim that off because it was getting wedged in there. But yeah, you have to fight this one a little bit unless you want to get a wrench on it. I really didn't want to get a wrench, so just get you a extension and a swivel, make it work. Take these things back out.
He's gonna send us a hat or something, man.
I don't know. I give them free plugs and free business. They do talk to me once on Instagram, but yeah.
Yeah.
So does, I mean, yeah, everybody else sends pictures and stuff too, but yeah. This is the only kit for trunnions. If anybody's wondering, this is the only one I will use. I've sent some other stuff before and looked into doing it and just did not like the way it was designed and didn't use it. So CHE, to me, is the best. Dad's got him on his truck. I don't know how many miles he's got on his truck now. Not a lot, but yeah.
The whole thing is to eliminate the needle bearings.
Yeah. These rockers were brand new, never been used. And when I pressed the needle bearings out of these, they had such force coming out that pretty much every one of them exploded. So I got needle bearings all over my garage floor.
And that's what would happen inside your motor.
Yep. If they came loose.
If they ever came loose.
If they ever came loose.
And they have.
They have. I got people who commented about they found needle bearings in their oil pan. So it does.
That's where you want to find them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we got that.
So here's the texasspeed push rods. I believe these are stock length. We can check them. I'd rather have. Oh, that's the stock. There's the difference. That's a big difference. Interesting. Yeah, we've never ran anything other than stock length push rods in anything. So something new.
Well, I got Michigans in mine.
Yeah, but they're stock length.
Yeah. But these are definitely.
These are longer, so this is gonna push.
Push it out here.
Yep. Hope the guy did the homework. Because or Texas Speed. So hopefully somebody did their homework. They're beefy.
They are. There's enough oil in these.
Yeah, when I build them, I soak everything in transmission fluid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It recommends motor oil, but I never have spare motor oil, but I got spare transmission fluid laying around for some
Well,
reason.
it's slippery.
So it works.
Slippery. Cranking it over too. They got metal to metal.
And but definitely what we're going to do is spin this over by hand multiple times after I get these torqued down and just make sure we don't have any valve to piston interference, because
It's happening.
like I said, we didn't pick these parts out. We don't do that kind of research. They show up, we bolt stuff together. Somebody's going down real far. Yeah. I guess it's a pretty big cam. I tried to look up the stuff on it, like I said, and it's some kind of custom grind thing. I couldn't find any information. But I'm not too familiar with Brian Tooley stuff either, so. Yeah, he sent 2 cams. He sent a Texas Speed and a Brian Tooley, and in the end, he decided he wanted the Brian Tooley one. That's what I was told to put in. If you want a different one, I will take it all back apart and put another one in. Yeah. Look how far some of those are down. They're crazy, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know if it shows up on camera, but
That
that thing is down pretty far. That was down pretty far.
Man.
I don't remember when we put your Chopacabra what they look like, because it's a chopping, very badass chopping cam, but it doesn't require that stall converter. So I'm not sure. If I remember right, the lift was less than a stage 2 or something. I guess it's the duration.
Yeah, duration.
What they do that makes that thing just.
It's engineered to
It's awesome.
make that noise when it's in an idle position.
I recommend to everybody, if you want that 60 more horsepower, give or take, is what they say. You get 80 out of something else. 60 more horsepower with the Chopacabra. You get 80 with like a stage 2, stage 3. You ain't got to spend $3,000 on a torque converter.
It's streetable.
Yep. You can use stock length push rods. And I always recommend CHEs if you're doing any kind of cam, because just the extra lift and abuse the valve train takes. All right, so those are all torqued to spec. Everything sounds good to me. Yep. It's smooth.
Move. No
The
clicking.
valves are working.
I hear
Everything's open and closing. Don't hear anything smacking.
Good valve job on that.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are Texas Speed 660 springs. And then, of course, CHE trunnions. And then you saw the push rods. Longer than stock length. Yeah, no clicking. Everything looks good. Got the button back up. Got the coils on it. Went ahead and rechecked torque on all the rockers. Everything was good. Went ahead and tightened down the AC support. We had left it loose because we knew we were going to be pulling the valve cover back off. Everything looks good. Checked everything. Everything's tight. Our next step is to get it up in the air, get the transmission, get it bolted together, and make a phone call and see what they want to do. Missing the fuel injectors. Have the rails, but they're bare, naked rails. So can't put the injectors in. Can't put the crossover tube in. Can't put the fuel lines on the direct injection pump. Kind of a standstill. So we'll see if this one leaves here today like this and gets finished up later, or if we hang on to it and finish that up. We build for one particular person, and it's kind of up to them what they want to do. Got the torque converter and transmission bolted up. I think this one's leaving just like this. I think that's what's about to happen. Sad to see them go sometimes, because I always wonder, like, you know, hey, what are we going to film next? What are we going to put on YouTube? But we got that truck still, and then mine's still back there. So we still got plenty of things to work on a pallet, ready to go. That's going to end it off for this one. Thanks everybody for watching. Subscribe, like, share, ring the notification bell. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next one. And the next one is going to be what? Yep, tune in for that. Dakota Digital installed.